I'm really excited to tell you today about the Colors of the World Fineliners. We have the Colors of the World crayons, we have the Colors of the World markers, broadline, and colored pencils, but now we have the Fineliners. I'm super excited. I bought these a few weeks ago and I can't wait to show you today. I'm Jenny from Jenny's Crayon Collection. I hope you guys find the coolest art supplies for whatever project you're doing. And these Fineliners are really neat because what happens is the broadline are a little bit thicker. They're really good for filling in lots of blocks, but these Fineliners are really good for like bullet journaling or doodling or like writing notes or adding fine details to your drawings. Like if you just want a little bit of color, but you don't want to use the broadline. The broadline are pretty good for little details because they have that pointed tip, but these are even more so. And if you want to like make little dots and everything. During the video, I'm going to show you all the swatches for the videos. And I created a special chart just for this because I used the other chart, the normal chart that I had for like the crayons and the colored pencils, and it just didn't look right because the paper was off and also it was just too much to cover because these are not made for coloring in things. Like if you want a marker for coloring in things, use the broadline markers, but these are really good for fine detail. So I actually went back and refilmed the video just for you guys. And then at the end, I'm gonna show you a couple ways to use them. You could use them for, like I did some lettering with them and I also did a few doodles, and you can do that, and you can use them in just for fun, or you could do some bullet journaling. You could do a lot of fun, really fun things with these. They have a lot of potential for use with like contrasting colors and shadows and all that. And you can also layer them. And because they're the same colors as the colored pencils and the crayons, you can use these all together. Like you could use them all in the same drawing, which we don't have the luxury with other Crayola products, because I did a video before this and I showed that a lot of the Crayola products, even the like standard 12 colors, don't come in all the packs, but we are really super blessed with this because they come in all the packs. There was also a special paper. It wasn't construction paper that was released, but it was a project paper, which is a little bit sturdier than their construction paper, and it was released at the same time. And I want to get my hands on that, and I'll show you guys when I do, but it was super exciting that they released that too, so you can use all these shades within like paper crafting and stuff like that. Here is our box of 24. These are the fine line, not the super tips, which is interesting. And then on the side here, we've got all of the color swatches like we have had before. And then on the back, they've got swatches, the date, 2021. They were made in USA with US and foreign materials. It doesn't say now where they were. Sometimes it says products of whatever. Let's open the side. I have not opened these yet, so I'll just use a pen. Oh, interesting. So we have 3 boxes in there, which is, yeah, like I said, very interesting that they, well, I guess it would be hard to put 24 in a box. Sometimes, I don't know if they have a box that big. So what we're going to do is we're just going to dump all of these out. It doesn't matter because they are going to, there's an order on here, so it doesn't matter how they're arranged. Got all the pretty colors. All right, I did a whole video with the swatches. I wasn't exactly thrilled with the paper, or these are super thin, and I was like, you know what? They're not made to color in. So I went back to the drawing board, and lucky for you guys, now you guys get a nice circles instead of those. And I'm gonna try it on different paper. If you look at that tip, it's not quite like a super tip, so I really wish it was like a super tips, but it's not. Let's just get going. We have deepest almond. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill it in. You can already see it's a lot easier. Well, I can. I like this paper a lot better because it absorbs the marker a little bit better. So I don't get as many striations. You can see in here that I got a ton of striations on there. And I was going to do this to make it go off to the side so you guys get that. So much better. We could do like, you know how I like to do. I could have even made these circles smaller. So we're going to do a little bit of layering on that side. That way you can see what it would be like if you layered. But much happier with this. Oh my gosh, yeah, I could have made these circles a lot smaller, very deep rows. I was like, you know what, are these going to be too small so you won't be able to see the color? I would actually use these, probably not so much coloring things. And actually on this paper, they work fine. So it probably depends on the paper that you're using. But I would use these for like small details or bullet journaling or something like that. I would not use them to color in spaces. They do not work as well. Very deep rows. Okay, next one is deep rows. You know, I might go to circles. Circles are, it takes a little bit longer to make a circle swatch chart than it takes to make one of these swatch charts. But the great thing about these is, so if you have the broadline markers, the crayons, or the pencils, they're the same colors, which is actually kind of rare with Crayola to have the same colors. But you'll see as I'm going here, I'm getting this layering effect right here, that you can get more than one tone of skin. And also, you might be able to combine these two. They did advertise as having more colors, medium, deep golden, but I haven't really investigated that. I don't know if you guys have. If you have, let me know. So yeah, this is so much better, guys. This paper, and I am just so much happier. You know, I was like, you know, I could put out the video, it could be done for the day. I could just put this video out and it'd be over. But I want to give you guys the best quality, medium almond. I don't want to just put something out to put something out. I want to make sure that it's good quality and it's useful and it's not going to waste people's time to watch swatch charts that aren't cool. This is cool. I love layering. You can really see a difference in colors as you layer. Very light rows. So these ones I noticed last time when I layered was on these ones, you really see a big difference. When you layer, you really get more of that in there. It is peeling the paper away a little bit. So I don't know if this is optimal paper to use, but it's much better than the other one. Light medium rows. The other one is the paper that Tombow recommends on their website for their markers. But I've tried it with their markers too, and what is it called when it, I have to think of the word, it tears the paper up a little bit. So it's not my favorite. Medium deep rows right here. But I think it's especially important when you're using markers to be able, if they're alcohol-based or water-based, to be able to layer them. So then you really are going to get that a different effect on them. And really the paper you use, like I said, I got a ton of striations with the other one and hardly any on here at all. Light medium golden, which is so much better. But yeah, so when I do layer, it tends to tear. There are other papers, and the reason I don't use them, some of the heavier papers won't tear as much. This is a mixed media from Canson, and it probably would be a lot better on here and wouldn't rip it as much, but the thing is I can't print on those. So it's like, if you want to be able to print, you have to have deep golden, the paper you can print. But sometimes when you have the papers that are a little bit less, they're not as thick, sometimes they tear a little bit easier. But these are looking beautiful. So much better than the other ones. Light golden. here. You can see, especially when I double it up, you can really get a little bit of texture. So that's really good, especially since these are like from using on, you know, faces a lot and extra deep rows. It's nice to be able to have shadows. You can use like a marker that's a different, like a shade darker or a shade lighter. But you can also layer, which is a good option to have. And you know what I did find? If you let it dry in between when you're layering, sometimes it doesn't rip the paper as much. Light medium almond right here. I should have put that one. I don't know how I did this. I think I followed the box on here is what I did. So I probably should make my own. Very deep almond. Very deep almond is right here. I talked to my husband today. I was like, man, I did not like that video. And he's like, yeah, just redo it. And before, like, my biggest hindrance was doing processing, and I got a new graphics card. Not the one I wanted, medium deep almond. But I got a graphics card, so it doesn't take me like 3 days to just process a video. So it takes me like 10 minutes, which is huge if you're trying to put out videos. Especially ones that were longer. Those ones were taking forever. Even the shorter ones were taking a long time. I was like, this is not working. Maybe you want to just not do any videos anymore. Extra light almond, but I love doing videos. So I was like, that's not an option. I have to figure out how to make this work. So you really can't see this one at all. So even with, like, you can kind of see that tearing right there. I should probably have left it to dry in between, but I'm actually getting color with doing more than one layer. So definitely some of these colors you're going to want to layer up. Extra deep golden, and you can use these for shading with the bigger markers too. I tried a little bit of lettering, and these tips are not as forgiving as the super tips. I think soft, so they don't work as well for lettering for me. I don't know, maybe you guys, if you guys use these for lettering, let me know. Deep almond. This is looking so pretty. I'm not going to be ashamed to put this out today. Oh. Because I think sometimes, I feel this pressure to get the videos out. And it's good because I'm like, then I get it done and I can move on to the next one. But in the same sense too, I want to make sure they're good quality. Extra deep almond. I have a lot of ideas for you guys of videos still to show lots of products and show what to do with them. Okay, and then medium golden is up here, the last one on this row. How pretty is that? Okay. Then light almond. Again, I should have waited, but look at how much you get, how much extra pigment you get with that. We have very light almond. It really depends too on the paper you use a lot of times. This one is not how much it'll absorb or rip. Okay, get off of my page. We just have 2 left. We've got light rose. And then we have very light golden. which you can hardly see, but once you double it up, you can. And I like these circles because it kind of teaches you, sometimes when you're using markers, if you go in a circle pattern, you cannot get the striations as much either. Here is our completed chart. Which chart do you guys like better? I personally love this one. I really see the differences. I like the paper better. I like the actual chart better. It is beautiful. So I'm gonna just show you real fast a couple ways to use these while we're here. So I'm just gonna pull out two that are similar. So we have these two. And then we're gonna pull out, let's pull out three of each. Deepest almond. So if you're like gonna letter or something like this, we can have a few ideas of how to use these. So let's just write the word love. Okay, so I'm gonna do it like faux lettering. So we just have, so what you would do, oh, this would be good to do in like a bullet journal, because I would have my lines. Yeah, I can see this is really good paper right here. So you could do it two ways. So you do L, O, okay, so V. Okay, so writing this word love, and faux lettering is just when you fill it in. So these would be really good for like faux lettering because you can get the like that. So then you would bring your very light one. This one is actually, this is actually the most extra light. So I'm just gonna find my very light almonds, or just a light almond, because I feel like my extra light might be way too light that it might not show up. So then you can come in here and you can just kind of, I'll pull it up to the camera too a little bit. Okay. So you see how that, we can get really good right there. All right, so we're gonna try one more thing. Now we are gonna go onto these two. We're gonna write love again, but this time we are gonna write it in this one. So we're writing it in the very light one first. Oh, this tip is softer, so maybe the more you write with them, the softer they get. I'm like, maybe I could do lettering with this one now. The other one was like super hard. What we are going to do with this one is, now we're going to come in here and we're going to fill in the top. I'm going to show you this really cool thing you can do. I have this water-based pen, but you could use a lot of different things. Actually, I think I'm going to pull out my Tombow. And I actually want to get a few of these things. I feel like they're super useful. So you can come in here like this. This is a colorless blender. And you see how I'm kind of like blending that in? Okay, and so now you're like, well, that's great, but I can barely see that. So you could come in. Actually, I think that looks nice. See how we get that little bit of gradient right there. It's still pilled a little bit, but not as bad as the other paper. I don't know, maybe we should use watercolor paper if we're gonna do that kind of stuff. But that was kind of cool. So let's look at our last one. So I think we're on to golden. Yeah, so we've got our two. Now I'm gonna do it similar to what I did here, but now I'm gonna blend it out. So we are going to, again, do the love and the light one. So this tip is super hard. I feel like it just, this one would be super hard to do lettering with. But it just depends. But these are really nice because then you can get the detail and then you can draw little things around it. Like you could draw little hearts around it. Okay. So it doesn't really matter because we're going to come over some of this with the darker one. But you want to be able to get some of this in here. And I really, like I said, I love this Tombow. So I'm gonna just come in here. I'm gonna just draw like a little bit on the edge, a little bit. It is doing a little bit of that. Okay, so you can either come in with the other pencil or, and I want, anytime you use your Tombow, you want to color splendor, get the color out, and then you can come in here and just kind of like work it in a little bit. And then, I don't know, the paper is pilling, but you get the point. And then you could go around and you could just draw some hearts. You could like draw them with the darker one, fill it in with the lighter one. You can also just kind of like touch it on the outside a little bit to bring the darker one in. And there you go. You've got all these done a few different ways. They're really cool for that kind of stuff. Then rainbows are really cool to do with this kind of thing. Okay, so we're gonna come in with a rainbow. We're just gonna come in. So this would be a kind of cool thing to do around if you're like bullet journaling. Kind of just make it fun. And then you could not do more, or you could do it more. Or you could start like with the pink on the outside this time. That one is super good. I don't know if the other ones would get there eventually. Craftic, Jen from Craftic gave me this idea, this little rainbow idea, but that's so cool, isn't it? And then you could put these like that in hearts and be like a really fun page that you could do like in a bullet journal or something like that. I hope you guys liked this video, and I love this chart. I love how it turned out, and you got some good ideas on how to use these like in bullet journaling or just doodling, and that you guys can see that we can layer, that we can blend them together, and they're a really versatile tool. It's so cool that they're so thin. That way we can get lots of super thin lines. And I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.